Hi friends, I am going to do a little quick tutorial. I've been really obsessed with these little bows. I've put them on my sweater. I've stitched them into my scarf, and then recently I did make a little keychain, and who doesn't love cute happy keys? So yeah, we're gonna get into how to make this little quick bow in this video. So let's go through what's needed. So I am going to, now in this particular one, I did not do it for this one. This is just baby pink big twist yarn from Michaels for this one. But I'm curious, and I'm testing out, which you probably shouldn't be doing during the tutorial, how it will look. And this is the big twist rose pink, and it's double. Okay, forgive me if you sense a little gap sometimes in my call, in my video, I meant to say. Yeah, so I'm gonna double strand for the first time, just to maybe get like a little, maybe thicker size of a bow. It's pretty standard, and usually I did a single crochet for this bow here. I think it might be fun to just see how a half double looks. Maybe it'll give it a little, I don't know, we'll see. But it will be a little bit thicker than this one. And I'm going to use, since I do have this doubled up, I have a couple different hooks here, because sometimes midway I'm not really 100% sure of what's going to feel right for me. So this is a matte furrows crochet. I think it's like blush, if I'm not mistaken, or yeah, I think it's the blush pink, and a 6mm. And then this is an eye re-sign hook. I've really been getting into this one and enjoying it more. I didn't use it as much when I first got it, but it's definitely grown on me. And this is just like a 6G hook clover. Love your clover. So we're going to see what feels good. I have my embroidery scissors here, a yarn needle, just there's slight ends to tuck in, but they're to weave in, but there's not a lot. And then 2 stitch markers. You may or may not really need the stitch markers. And then I did recently get myself, I just bought this off of Amazon. It's just like a little keychain kit. So there's gold, there's silver, there's big rings. I believe this is kind of like maybe something to help you pinch. I'm just going to pop it on there. I'm not going to like really go all deep into how to put the keychain in, because you know there's different ways, but we have those two. If you're wanting to do that with the keychain, like I said, I've been making my bows for different things. I recently attached here. I'll show this. Move out the way. I recently, and this is on some of my other videos, worked on this waffle stitch, and I took my bow and just attached it here, and I've been having fun just making this kind of like a patchwork type scarf. As you see, it has the fringe and everything. So yeah, I probably will possibly add this bow to that if it's not too big. Otherwise I'll just keep it as a keychain. But how you're going to start, let's get into how to start. I did pre-spin this to make it become the 2-strand because I'm working on a sweater. So this is just like some extra that I have. But to get into that, we're going to do our slip knot. I am going to start off first. I'm going to see how the clover does. And for me, I've been liking my bow to be a little extra long, so I've been starting out with a chain of 26. So just your normal slip knot, and then chain 26. And do that there. And then we'll come back after 26. All right. And so as you see, I wound up going up to the furrows 6, just because I'm used to the furrows. I feel like it's a lot longer, and sometimes, you know, I love my clover, I do, for certain things. Sometimes I need that smooth, you know, metal. It's a lot lighter. Sometimes I need to take a break from the weight of the furrows, but you know, the ergonomic, the rubber stops me. Sometimes I need, you see how I can keep that down and have a little wiggle room? Sometimes that does help me a little. But that's my chain of 26. I mostly did it with the clover hook. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna do a half double this bow. Okay, yes. So this bow is just the single, as I was saying. It's just a single crochet. How adorable is it? But we're gonna try a half double and just try something a little bit different. Why not? I like to do different things because it's like, if you don't know, then let's pull some of that. So what we're going to do is just do a half double into each chain. It should wind up being 25 because we're going to count, you know, that one. We're just going to go, we're not going to go into the one on the hook. We're going to just yarn over and do a half double through both of the loops. And it might get confusing if you're doubling up the strand of yarn for me, because you're going to automatically see 2 loops here. Don't let it confuse you. Just, you know, you don't have to even double up. I just want to see. I'm just experimenting, see what a thicker bow would look like. But here we're just going to do a half double in each of these. And then we see how that's starting to look. You might see a bit of a struggle for me because, of course, it's kind of like doubled up. So just trying to keep my tension okay and make sure I'm not like skipping any of these. And I don't want this to be like a super long video, so I'm going to go ahead and continue. It's going to be a really thick bow. I'm going to continue to do each in my chain and come back once I've done all of them. Okay. And so here we are with our half double. I think that looks really pretty. That looks good. And I didn't chain one when I got to the end of the row. So chain one and turn the work. This is going to be like a really thick bow, so do not double strand if you're not like really wanting that. And then we're just going to simply do round 2. Same thing, pretty standard pattern. Just going across all the way. Now for this one with just the one strand, for this bow, I did, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I did 5 rows. Obviously this one is a lot thicker, so we'll probably just do maybe 3 instead. Just going in there. Some more yarn out. And then half double. Yeah, I might just do 1 more row because yeah, 1 more row might be plenty. So just get to the end of the row, continue in the half double, and then we'll meet up at the end. Okay, so here we are at the end of row 2. I did chain 1 already here, and now that I'm, you know, getting an idea of how thick it is feeling, I am going to just do 1 more row instead of 4. So same rules apply. We're just going to build, trying to keep that edge nice and straight, because that's pretty much going to be like the bottom of your bow, depending on which one of these you choose. And then we're just going to go half double in here. Should be a little easier now that you got like some of your work to grip onto. I know it usually is for me. And we're just trying to keep that nice consistent half double. Ooh, I went to the wrong chain there. That's why I was trying to be decisive about which hook I was going to decide on, just so that I'm not like snagging at anything. And just going down the row. And then once these are done, that's the only thing about double stranding, y'all. You gotta be on it. And then now that we're getting to the end of this row, I think that's pretty thick for my bow. I did want to try like a thicker bow. And then we're just going to do the same thing, try to keep that edge tight. And then what we're going to do is honestly just repeat this so that we have 2 of these. So I'm going to finish this one, I'm going to make my second one, and then I'll come back to basically assemble and put the bow together. And I should have said before that. So you want to fasten off. You want to leave a little bit of your string left over when you are fastening off. Maybe, I don't know. I've been trying to go with a little extra because you're going to basically be using that to try to get the bow and everything together. So if you feel like you want to really get a cute buckle like I do, like you really want these to kind of stand out, or be able to puff them out, you want to leave a little bit of your string when you fasten off. Okay. And as I went halfway through, I thought to myself, you know, I was going to use one definitely for the base. This is going to be the one that's going to go in the middle of my bow for me. And so I just decided that I didn't want to make this as thick because I already have to wrap it around. So I'm going to leave this smaller. It does help if this is your first bow to possibly not, you know, close off or close off really, really long. So I'm going to close off really, really long. So I'm just going to, or fasten off, I should say, really, really long for myself. I'm going to go pretty long because this is going to be what basically holds our bow in place. And I just want to have it up. So, all right, so fasten it off, keeping that really long. You don't have to keep it this long, but it works for me to keep it this long just because I know I need to. Just be careful pulling that. I double strand, so it might not be as chunky for you. And this is going to be sewn in, so this is all going to be like put together, so don't even go crazy about it. See, it's going to be covered up anyway. And what we're going to do, as soon as I can find it, is you can honestly do it with this, which is what I'm going to do so that I can wrap this around. So I'm going to just use this right here to go ahead and sew this up and come right back. I'll show it. I said I was gonna come right back, but I was like, no, I'll just go ahead and sew it up with you guys. And so what you're basically doing is just, you know, trying to get this attached to that. I'm going to start under. It doesn't have to be a lot, honestly. You're just trying to get it to kind of close up. Forgive me, y'all. I work from home. I'm gonna be honest. I work from home, and it kills me every day. I won't lie. It is a lot for me because I am. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. But like I said, this doesn't need to be beautiful, okay? But I was saying, yes, I am a licensed cosmetologist, and just try to get that back in there. Yeah, I'm a cosmetologist, and I'm just trying to find a way to, you know, make the money while I can. This does not have to be super neat, and this is, I don't know, I'm a couple bows in, maybe my 6th, 7th, 8th bow in, and I just came to the conclusion, I'm like, girl, this doesn't need to be super neat. You're just wanting a ring, okay? You're just wanting a ring, and we're going to get this assembled, and then I'll show you how to, yeah, finally put this bow together. All right. And then what we're going to do now that we went ahead and fastened off, we're going to go ahead and bend that piece a little there, just so it, you know, has that little situation there. And we're going to take this, looking like a bow already, right? Try to tuck all the little pieces in. Like I said, that's why I didn't make a big deal out of that, because you can't even see it, honestly. And then we're going to make sure all those pieces are tucked. Come through here. And we are going to start to wrap that around. Granted, mine is probably coming out a little bit thicker than yours if you did just one strand, but as we talked about, that's what I wanted. I'm just gonna wrap that up. Just continue to wrap. And just try to hold it nice and tight. Get it nice and tight there. Get those little pieces. For me, since I was a tad bit sloppy with my middle piece, and just want to keep on wrapping. Keep wrapping. You can literally see the shape that it's starting to take already. It's such an adorable project. I know a lot of people have different ways of doing them. And if I do, I know there's one really big video where she kind of does a little bit of the same thing. But like I said, I went with the double strand. I went with the half double instead of the single, just to give it a little more detail for me. And just keep wrapping. I mean, for me, I definitely try to keep the thread here as neat as I possibly can, because I want it to look cute. And as I said, this is going to be a keychain for me. So I'm going to wrap maybe 2 more times, space that down for myself so that it stays. And then what I am going to do is just cut a little piece for myself. I'm gonna cut this here. It's not gonna make it too long, but just a little snip. Keep that there, because that's gonna be like my extra security for myself, just so I know. And I have a thicker bow here, like I said, because I went with my double strand. And I'm gonna take this, keep that string there, and then just bring it around so that you're securing behind that bow. Okay. I'm just gonna make a little simple knot. You can honestly keep that there if you want. You can weave it. I probably will weave it because I want it to be super neat. I'm gonna do another wrap. And come back behind it again. And I'm just gonna do another little knot. All right, and then I'm gonna go off camera, fix these little pieces, weave, and then I'll come right back. And you'll just see me here. So it was a little messy. It's a little messy. It can get a little messy, but I'm just weaving in some of my little ends here. I just try to get rid of them, and then I'll usually, compliments of MJ, go up, go back up, and just go in the other direction so that it's like neat and together. It's not sticking out. See, hardly know. I'll weave in here. Mine's probably a little thicker than yours if you just did the one strand. But I'm gonna go pull that up here. And then of course, after a certain amount, it just kind of melts into it. Whoever came up with weaving ends, they're a genius. And I'm gonna snip that there. And you can't even tell, and it honestly does not budge. And then I'm going to just do the same thing, and then I'm going to do all my weaving, and then we'll come back and just do that. Yeah, I feel like when it does that, that's how you know you found like the perfect little spot. All my junk. Okay, so here we are, all weaved in. All those ends are put in, and we have our bow. And as I said, mine's is going to be a keychain. I know mine's looks like a little lopsided. You probably will have to stretch, but I don't mind the lopsided look because I love the little dysfunction of a bow. It's a little lopsided, kind of like a bow. You maybe would wear it in your hair as a little girl. So I did say I'm making mine as a keychain, so I'm going to show my little keychain piece. I did it aside off camera, and this is a case. It was like 10 bucks, I think, on Amazon. So it comes with gold and silver rings, of course your little attachments. I do want to maybe just do some crocheting. Maybe I can just hand them out. I can sell them. I'm trying to definitely find some ways to just bring a little more passion to my craft. So yeah, I got this off Amazon. If I do know how to, I'll put a link in there. But I did go ahead and take the chains. As you saw, they were separated, so I took some of the chains because I wanted to be kind of long, and I did a ring and little attachment there. And so basically what needs to happen, just gonna I'd already took a piece and hook it to, I put it through a good amount of the thread, and I'm just going to, you would just attach it there. Try to squeeze it as much as you can, obviously, so that it's secure. And then here we have it. The cutest darlings. And just put it on your keys, keep it on something, or just hang it around the house if you want to. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you did get to stick with me to the end, and yeah, if any of you try it, let me know. Little keychain right in time for Valentine's Day. All right, bye.